Hi, this is Kevin Purcell for GottaBeMobile.com. I've got an interesting little product from a company called MiLi. I think that's the right way to say that. This is a Pico projector, and everything you get comes, it can be put in this nice little carrying case. A little dusty right now, but let me open it up for you. And here's the projector itself. This little foot bends out to hold it. The projector opens this way. So we'll show you that in just a second. Here are the other accessories that come with it, including a little remote control for power, menu, muting, shows the battery level, controlling the menus. This will turn the screen upside down or right and left, flipping it right and left. Switches between the AV input and the VGA input, and that changes the screen gamma. Nice little remote control. And anyway, of course, this is a battery operated projector, and so here is the all tangled up, the charging cable. Real basic. This is the VGA cable, and you plug it in where the AV input, well, I'm sorry, the VGA input on this side. It's a little bit of a challenge to get it to go in. It's you got to get it just right, but it goes in like that. And then this side you can plug into a computer. And I'll show you some video of what that looks like when you do plug it up. I've got a MacBook Air that I plug it up with, and I want to show you what that looks like in a somewhat dark room. It's not great, and but I'll show it also to you what it looks like in a pitch black room. So then you just close it right there, and then this is the AV input, and it comes with this. With the red, white, and yellow connector, and then you plug in like that. You can also have an output coming from here to a set of speakers, so that any sound you can get can be a whole lot better, or maybe a set of headphones if you're working by yourself. You can see that the black plastic case gets lots of fingerprints on it, and I have oily skin, and so that's kind of a problem for me. And then this is the what it looks like when you open it up. And you want to aim it as best you can, as flat against a wall as possible. Now in a semi-dark room, I was able to get about maybe 2 to 3 feet away from the wall with a nice bright screen, and maybe about 2 hand lengths, and so maybe about 12 to 16 inches long. So you're not going to get a very large display in a bright room or a semi-dark room. You're going to have a nearly pitch black room in order for this to work. But one of the cool things about this is you notice that it has this iPhone, iPod, and actually the iPad works on it. I've tested it with the iPad, and you can dock it in there. The iPad, you got to be real careful as you put it down on there, because it gets a little top heavy. Now, show you the power. You turn it on with that. These, of course, control the volume up and down, and then this switches the display. And then right here, you've got a focus wheel, and as you can see, the LED display comes out through that way. It does have fan vents on the sides and a speaker right there. It's fairly stable when you put a small device like an iPod or an iPhone in there. It works nicely in a very dark room. My son tested it out. He loved it, what he did. is he put his iPod in here and he aimed it right at the ceiling and laid in bed with it and watched a movie, and he thought that was just great fun. And so for something like that, it'll work great. I could see putting it, in a hotel room, aim it against the wall if you want to show a movie or something like that. If you've got a conference room where you can get all the lights turned off and there's not a lot of ambient light through windows or that sort of thing, it'll work well. And of course it's nice and compact. I haven't tested the battery life on it yet, so I don't fully know exactly how long it will last. But you have the nice charging, or nice holder cable. You put the projector in there, and then you've got your cables, which you can, put inside here as well. Get everything in there. Normally I would spend the time to roll them up nicely in a nice way, but I'm not going to do it just for this video. And there you go. Again, I would get those cables in there nicely. And so it's a nice little projector that doesn't have too much, take up too much room, and it'll run on a battery. And I believe that it should last you if you want to watch a movie or have a hour-long presentation to make, again, in a pitch black room. It could be a useful product. I think it's really more for entertainment purpose than it would be for business. And so I don't think that you're going to take this and show it to show presentations with it very often, unless, again, like I said, you're in a pitch black room. I wish that the LED was a little brighter. I wish it had a little bit better battery indication, although the on-screen battery indicator works all right. And I wish that it had a little bit better connector for maybe HDMI output or DVI, but you can do that through adapters. The resolution on it isn't great. It's 800 by 600, so you're not getting HD capable HD quality, so I guess that's VGA's fine because of that. And so again, I wish maybe it had a 1366 by 768 at least, but again, that would jack the price up and make it a little bit more expensive. But for what it is, a simple little portable way to watch movies with a handful of people in a very, very dark room. It works well and could be useful for that. So you can see I've got here the MiLi PIco Projector hooked up to my MacBook Air, and at a pretty short distance. It doesn't give you much of a picture. You can see there's my hand, so it's only about 2 hand widths wide. Now this room is, all the lights is fairly dark. All the lights are off. You can kind of see about how dark it is. It's hard to tell with a video camera, but by comparison, there's the screen of my MacBook Air, and there's the screen of the Pico Projector. The fact that this is hooked up to a computer, and you can see about how bright it is, and again, it may not be coming across on video too well. It's not the brightest. If this was a pitch black room, this would actually look really good. And at 3 feet, this would be a decent presentation size for, 6-8 people in a really dark conference room. You could watch a video from your computer. I've got a Keynote slide going here with just one of the basic generic templates. Alright, we are in the man cave, our basement, and as you can see, we've got the projector aimed at our screen.
I know what this is.
And sadly, the quality of the picture is just not real good. It is fairly large, but you can see that you can barely see, especially the bottom half, and that's because we have a light on behind this that bleeds over onto the screen, so you can't really see it well. So right now I'm going to have my son turn off that light. Unfortunately, this is a very dark scene, so you're not seeing it too well on the screen or on camera, but it is a little bit better. Now, unfortunately, the image is a little blurry because we got to get the focus. So that's not too bad. Unfortunately, this is a nearly pitch black room, and you can see that the quality of it is not that great. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my son pick up the camera and just aim it still at the screen, but walk towards the screen, and you can see how it's going to get a little better. Stop.
Even when you're asleep, your defense is never down.
Now at that size, that's a little bit brighter, and you can see it a lot better. So kind of as a summary, what we can say about the MiLi PIco Projector, I think that's the way it's supposed to be said. It works okay if you're in a very dark room and you don't try to make the image too big. It'll give you a display that you can look at. One of the things I've found is that this is the speaker on it, and the speaker is just not loud enough at all. And so you're going to have a hard time really hearing it. So you're going to want an extra set of speakers or headphones or something while you're watching the movie. If I was a person who traveled a lot, would want to take this to a hotel room a lot, then it actually might be worth it. Also, if you find yourself in dark rooms and you want to maybe have an extra display to show off some content, maybe to a couple of clients or something like that. If you're in a conference room and it's really dark, it might be useful as a projector to hook up to your laptop, or even run it from an iPod or iPhone or an iPad. The iPad, it's a little wobbly, so you're not going to want to rely on that. It comes from MiLi, the Pico Projector for iPhones and iPod Touches, and in a pinch an iPad. This has been Kevin Purcell for Gotta Be Mobile. Thank you for watching.